Hi, I'm Stephen Thrasher, and I'm a patent, trademark, and copyright attorney in Dallas, Texas. And I just got off the phone with someone out in West Texas that asked a question I get constantly. So I wanted to address it in a video for this person as well as anybody else that has an interest. And the question was, can I register my product? And what they then said was, can I register it somewhere to protect it? And it got really clear really fast that they were meaning protect the name, protect the look of it, protect how it's made and what it does. And this kind of a jumbled idea of all these different things that maybe they could submit one application and get all this protection for. And unfortunately, that's just not the way the intellectual property protection systems here in the United States, or really anywhere else, work. Everything that could go into protecting that product, whether it's name, its look, its functionality, all these things will fit in a bucket. So I'm going to go over that real quick. So let's say that you've invented this really cool product. And it's unlike anything anybody's ever seen before, and you're going to just revolutionize transportation with this great idea that you got. Well, what you have maybe is a way to define its functionality so that it's unlike anything else out there that moves this way, and the way you would want to protect the methodology of making it work would be with, say, a patent on an invention, right? And then maybe you want to call this particular thing, let's say it's a generic name, bicycle, but you want to call it something like the Wright Flyer. And so you have this name or brand, and you want to protect that with a trademark. And then let's say that it has a particular look that's really cool, that doesn't play into the functionality, but it's something that makes it distinctive, you know, kind of like that Coke bottle in the shape that it has. And so for it, you might have something called a design patent. Now there are other ways to protect this through things like trade dress, and maybe you have some artwork on it, and the artwork, you know, it took some creativity to come up with it. And so when we're talking about art, now we're talking about copyrights. So you can have a particular product, but there are lots of different kinds of intellectual property that can go into protecting it. Now, we can even take this one step deeper. So, for example, with a trademark would cover a name, a slogan, a logo, and we could go down the list, and it would cover even different classes or product categories for this. And what this boils down to is that you might actually have many different trademarks and trademark applications protecting all the different ways that you market and promote and call your product or your company. Same thing with your patent. So, you know, you see this and you might think, well, it's a bicycle, it's an invention. Well, maybe you have an invention on, you know, the gears, right? And maybe that's what's special. And maybe it's the tires and the way that they're made and grip the road. Maybe it's the way the frame's built to make it structurally more sound. There's all these different aspects of this that may independently be protectable, and each one may be its own invention. And within the patent office, by the way, there's this rule that you have to limit yourself to one invention per patent application, one invention per patent. Dittos for the copyrights, dittos for the designs and the elements of designs. In fact, if you look up design patents for, say, the Ford Mustang, you'll see that there are design patents on just its tail lights, individual design patents for each panel on the vehicle, and other automobile manufacturers do, or at least should, you know, are you listening, Hyundai? Protect their designs with design patent applications. So when you think of protecting a product that you have, remember that the government and the court system looks not simply at protecting your product, but they ask what specifically about it might be eligible for protection. So I hope this has cleared up some pointers for you, and if you have any further questions, feel free to ask below. Continue watching the videos, subscribe, join us at Ask a Patent Attorney, or Ask a Trademark Attorney, or Ask a Copyright Attorney on Facebook, and I look forward to seeing you there.